Girl Scouts, Betsy Nichols here, Program Specialist for the Girl Scouts of Minnesota and Wisconsin Lakes and Pines, returning to you from Duluth, Minnesota. This video is part 3 of 4 for the media journey, which is also known as the It's Your Story, Tell It journey for cadets. Before we dive in, let's get started with the Girl Scout promise and law. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsible for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others, respect authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout. Great. So today we are going to be kind of looking at the surveys and interviews that we conducted in the last session. If you haven't done that yet, basically there are, we went over some questions that you can ask people in your troop, people in your family, the people around you in your community, about what they see and notice in the media and the media that they themselves consume. So if you can only, maybe as far as your survey can reach is only, one person in your family, it's still valuable feedback that we're going to just take a closer look at today. So we're looking at slicing into the big media pie. So this is kind of recognizing all of the different chunks of the media that people mentioned in your surveys and interviews. So questions that we're asking are, which elements of media contain unrealistic portrayals of girls? What comments were made on the survey about this? Where do you see the greatest need to change the images of girls and women? And where do you see portrayals of girls that you like best? So we're kind of considering questions like that. Where do you see yourself represented versus where do you not see yourself represented? And are there any changes that we can make or any improvements that we can make to the media that we see? So flowing off of that, we are looking at media remake possibilities, which is kind of focusing in on, maybe a couple or one element of, your survey results and seeing, is there a way that I myself or my troop can take that media and kind of remake it to reflect something that we value more, to see ourselves more in it. Is there a way that we can change it? So a couple different directions that you can go with is maybe remaking a scene from a TV show or a movie to not include any stereotypes. There's lots of stereotypes, in school with the different cliques, and different interests, people who are interested in science, people who are interested in sports, people who are interested in maybe music and arts. There's a lot of different stereotypes that go around in our schools, and a lot of those are reflected in the media that we see. So is there a way that we can, redesign and remake any scenes so that they don't include stereotypes anymore? And maybe it can be as simple as, changing the costume, or changing the tone of the words, or changing how, people talk to each other. A lot of ways that stereotypes are perpetuated and continued and carried on is, is by a visual representation. And so if we're looking at TV shows and movies, the fastest way to know someone fits the jock stereotype is to put them in their sports uniform. And I know when I was in school, yes, athletes would sometimes wear their jersey on game day, but I think, if you look at TV shows and especially cartoons and stuff, we know that athletes aren't wearing their jerseys every single day. They don't dress like that all the time, and so, but we put them in that jersey so that everyone watching knows, oh, they're a jock and they're an athlete. So is there a simple change that we can make like that? Other ways that we can remake media would be like a PSA, which is a public service announcement, just to talk about, like, if you saw an ad maybe on your social media feed or in a magazine or a commercial, maybe it was harmful and it upset you to watch and you didn't like seeing it. Is there a way that you can even just address that and, you know, politely and respectfully call it out and say, we saw this ad and, you know, it's not a fair and accurate representation of us, of girls or of teenagers or of youth. And so is there a way that you can address that and say, hey, you know, we put these stereotypes, we put these labels on people, and, you know, we say that it's a blanket statement that everyone, you know, that everyone in that group is like that, and we know it's not true, and here's why, and here's a great example of that being wrong. Maybe it is redesigning a entire ad that you've seen. I know that struggle that I face in my life is, you know, if I'm shopping, if I'm looking through a magazine, if I'm looking through a company's website, or even if I'm in a store looking at the mannequins, I'm not the same shape as a mannequin. I'm probably a good foot shorter than them. I'm only 5 feet tall. And so maybe there's a really pretty dress that I like, or maybe there's a pair of pants that I want to try on. It's not going to look the same on me than it is on a mannequin. And so something that I have loved seeing in recent years is companies adding more diversity to their modeling campaigns, to see women who look more like me wearing the clothes that I want to wear, and so then I can say, oh yeah, I probably could pull that off. So is there a way that you can remake any ads so that it represents you and your community better? So there are some ideas for you to start kind of working with, playing around with your results from your surveys, and kind of working those into a take action project. And then the other thing that I want to talk about is just as we have been going through this media journey, we've been consuming a lot of media. It's exactly what this journey is about, and a lot of media is, you know, now conducted and consumed in front of screens, you know, smartphones, TVs, all of that stuff. And it's a really big strain on our eyes, especially now that, you know, so much is online. You know, we are doing schoolwork online, we're meeting up with friends online. It can be really tiring to be staring at a screen all day. And there have been so many days where I have just come home and I'm like, my eyes hurt. My eyes are so tired. They feel burnt and sore from looking at a screen all day, and I just want to close my eyes and not look at anything. And so something that I have found to be helpful, and something that the media book recommends, is doing a little bit of TLC and creating a mask to go over your eyes when you have just had enough of looking at screens. And so sometimes it can be as easy as soaking a washcloth in some cold water and laying it over your eyes. On the flip side, sometimes warm water over your eyes feels really great. But a favorite of mine, and one that the media book loves, is using some green tea. So if you are a tea drinker, or if you have any tea drinkers in your family, if you're able to get your hands on 2 green tea bags. Another favorite of mine is chamomile tea. Soak them in some water, and then refrigerate the tea bags so that they're nice and cool, and then just put one tea bag over your eyes, and it can be that simple. But there are lots of other little recipes and formulas for making DIY face masks and ways to kind of relax and take that just that strain of looking at a screen away. But really, it's really great if you can just get some cold green tea bags on your eyes. Close your eyes, put on some calming, relaxing music, or just sit in silence and just kind of let yourself detox all of that media and all of that eye strain out of your system. And I love it, and I hope that you are able to just get some relief from that too. So those are my 2 things for you today. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you're healthy and well, and I hope you tune in next week for our 4th and final installment. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, Girl Scouts.